Brian Aylesworth. I'm Mansfield's town manager. Want to start off by expressing the town's great appreciation for all the continued support we continue to receive from our mutual aid partners, state agencies, regional entities, our federal partners, our state elected officials, and our federal elected officials. It's been a very busy, very trying time period since yesterday. As I said yesterday, obviously this is a situation that could have been a lot worse. It is a big ordeal to deal with, but fortunately, all things considered, we've been very lucky in terms of the derailment not causing, to our knowledge at this point, any hazardous material into the river or otherwise, presenting a public health or safety risk. I'm going to turn things over to our fire chief, Chief John Roach, to provide an update on where we're at.
Thanks. Just to bring everybody up to speed, those that weren't here yesterday. So yesterday morning, 9:05 a.m., we got dispatched for a report of a train derailment. There were 43 cars or 41 cars and 2 locomotives on the train. The rear 13 cars decoupled, 10 of which came off the tracks. And several of those cars also did roll over, 4 of which rolled into the river that's right there. Since the last briefing last night, the crews have remained on scene. They've got additional air monitoring on site, north, south, east, and west, so we're able to keep very good tabs of what's going on. It's actually all now remotely monitored, so we don't actually have to have physically people walking around with the meters, which has given us an extra cushion of safety. As an additional level of safety, we've also gone downriver a little ways and put several booms across the river, so that way if there is any potential spill when they're pulling the train cars out, we've got that preemptively kind of mitigated. And right now, also over the course of last night, the rail company was able to move in quite a bit of heavy equipment, so they've got several cranes, several large excavators on site, and right now they're kind of formulating their plan on how they're going to basically tackle the cars and in which order. So that's going to be kind of the game plan for today, to start working on that. And I guess that's all I've got for an update, unless anybody has any questions.
Do you plan to remove the materials from the tanks or the cars?
At this point in time, the plan is actually to just right the cars, put them back on the track, and leave the material inside the cars. Everything's up in the air a little bit, but the cars actually have grease. We actually found that it's been so cold, the grease is actually almost solidified in it or getting thicker. So it's actually would make getting that out of the cars, it's actually safer to just leave it in the car. So that's what we're working on right now.
Can you talk about what agencies are here with you? I know we've got several local and state agencies, but I saw that the EPA driving on scene as well.
Yep.
Can you talk about the folks that are helping?
Sure. So from a local perspective, obviously everything starts local. So it was Mansfield Fire with their great assets and resources from University of Connecticut Police and Fire Department. We're also on scene immediately to back us up. From there, we're part of the Talon County Mutual Aid system. We've got a great mutual aid system. We've got departments here now that are also helping cover us throughout the region. We also started what they call SERIT, which is the regional hazmat team in Region 4 in Eastern Connecticut. So that brought resources from the sub-base, New London, Mohegan Tribe. So they came up as part of the hazmat team. They're still on scene right now as a backup and as a safety, so you're still going to see sub-base units and personnel. They're rotating in and out. From other resources, we have DOT, Connecticut DOT spent both rail and traffic for traffic control. State Police has been helping out. University of Connecticut Police has been helping out. Obviously DPW and Public Works has been out extensively between fueling the trucks, salting roads, getting all of that out. We've got EPA on scene, federal EPA is on scene. We've just got DEEP is on scene. We've got a regional incident management team on scene. Demis has been on scene with great. We've got a lot of support from a lot of the commissioners from DEEP and public safety. They've also been out. So
It's safe to say more than 100 people, right?
rotating in and out.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been well over that. So tracking accountability has been fun too.
Can you, can you talk about what happens before the heavy machinery comes in and does some of that lifting? Like we see people walking up and down the tracks right now. We see them kind of with flashlights looking at the cars.
Yep.
What is that process right now?
Sure. So some of it was just monitoring, making sure there's no leaks. So we were doing quite a bit of that. They are also inspecting the rail lines, because obviously if you're gonna pick the cars up and put them back on the tracks, you wanna make sure the tracks are still stable and haven't been damaged. So they're doing quite a bit of inspections. Federal Rail Authority has also been here, so they've been doing some of that, working with that. They pulled the black boxes from the trains. So they're pre-staging it, making sure there's no leaks. And then they've also got some of their supervisors for the cranes and the lift companies trying to make a plan of, okay, which cars supporting which, how are we balancing this, how are we gonna get the machinery in. So there's quite a bit of planning goes in before anything physically. They don't just rush it in and grab the cars. They need to do it very methodically.
Chief, I know there was some hope that the shelter in place would be lifted as of this morning for residents' place. Where does that stand as of right now?
So right now, it's more of a precaution than anything else. It's just more of if there were a leak of some sort, that would just buy us a little bit extra time. Right now, we don't have any leaks detected, so we're not really pushing that as much. But we do want to kind of maintain anybody in that area. It's probably just not a great time to be outside playing or skiing or being outside. Being inside, giving that extra shelter gives us a little protection, a little bit extra time. So if we do detect a leak, we'd be able to get a hold of somebody and let them know there's a problem.
Any idea of when you, I know it's, circumstantial, but any idea of when you might hope to have that lifted for the people that live closest to this area?
That's going to be determined probably later today when we get a game plan of the rail cars and when they come up. The big thing is obviously when they start lifting some of these cars, we may want to just make sure that we've got a little extra layer of caution.
You alluded to inspections. The tracks do seem okay at this point?
That's up to the rail authorities and the rail companies. I mean, obviously, they are bringing some resources in by rail to get and trying to get the cars back on the tracks to get them out. So that's the game plan appears to be going that direction.
This might be a question for those rail authorities.
Yeah.
What impact does this have on any traffic that's supposed to be getting through here right now?
Yeah, everything's obviously shut down, so it's they're eager to get it reopened and back up and running.
I know we heard from neighbors, it was like two trains a day usually come by there. I don't know if you have any intel
That's
on that.
typical. I mean, it's right behind the firehouse, so we're familiar with it. So usually 2-3 trains a day is fairly common. I don't know exactly their volume and where exactly they're going, but yeah, they are eager to get it up and running as well. Yep.
Chief, any idea what caused this to happen in the first place?
At this point, it's too early to tell. There are several agencies that are investigating as part of their scope of work. To be honest, my job is to pick up the mess. So.
What has it been like? I know that, you just mentioned there's more than 100 people on a rotating basis, coming in and out to really deal with this.
Yep.
Just from the standpoint of the people working here, I mean, what's that been like? I know it's been an around-the-clock effort, talking about the hard work that they've been putting in.
Yeah, obviously the cold's hard. Cold, ice, slippery conditions, so we have to be real careful with that. Everybody's been great putting in a lot of effort, but it's tiring. So again, we've also got I want to also thank out, we've got a lot of support from the community. Some of the local restaurants have been helping out, getting hot food and hot coffee and things like that. And things like that really do go a long ways when you're on scene and you're cold and you're tired. So it's been great getting that. But we've just have to slow things down and do a little bit more methodical and make sure we're working in teams and buddy systems and all that. And we've got backup and eyes on eyes and things like that. And then again, like last night when they had to put the booms out, we actually had to bring out one of the regional dive teams. So that way they've got the cold water suits. So that way we knew they had the extra level of protection because of the ice and the cold water. So we do have to take extra steps. So it was slowed things down a little bit.
Chief, just to piggyback off that, the cleanup effort through this weekend with those wind chills reaching, negative 10, 20 degrees in some parts of the state here. What does it look like in terms of the cleanup going into the weekend, and how does that cold weather affect?
According to the train company, they're going to keep moving, but obviously it is going to slow the operation down a little bit. And what we are also doing is we're bringing in like large heated tents, and we've got rehab trucks coming in and heated shelters. So we're trying to plan on that, and it's just going to be a matter of having extra manpower and extra staffing on site, so that way we can rotate crews on a frequent basis. So that way, if they do get cold, we can warm them back up. So it just means we need more resources.
I know you're working out the timeline now, so
Yeah.
it's hard to answer this question, but do you know when maybe you're gonna actually start using some of that heavy machinery?
By later this morning. So the first half came in last night. The second half of their crew is coming in. They're supposed to be actually on site 7 a.m. this morning. So we're expecting that they're gonna get their full crew together. As I said, some of the supervisors were last night, we're going through and kind of pre-planning what they wanna do. And so I'm sure they're gonna be, by midday today, you're gonna see things up and moving. Because again, not all of the cars are fully over, some of them just need to be picked back up and put on the tracks, and those are gonna be pretty quick operations. So I think you're gonna see stuff move pretty quick.
I'll have to do more plowing, right?
Yep, so. And I gotta thank also the owners of the Spring Hill Farm. This is on private property, it's their farm. But they've been really great in accommodating for all of the first responders. They've opened up their facilities, given us a parking lot, and actually came up with some of their machinery and plowed and actually made us like an access road into the site. So we really appreciated their help and support, and they've been a great partner to work with.
And just to kind of summarize this for anyone who's, watching any of our channels right now, or will see this information later this morning, really for the people that live in this area, what are the big bullet points that they need to know, and what should they really be doing this morning and throughout the rest of the day as this cleanup process is really just kind of beginning?
So understanding that right now we don't have any detectable leaks for any of the propane or any of the hazards that are on that train. So we're closely monitoring that. I would just say try and stay out of that immediate area if at all possible, just to give us time and space to work. And they are still bringing in more heavy machinery, so that's part of just getting in and around. So if we can get that space kind of cleared out and not have to deal with traffic, that would be great. And then people just kind of be aware or be alert of what's going on. And again, that shelter in place is more of a precaution, but just, I would just, if you're in that immediate area, I would just try and stay inside in case there is a leak. That way we can get a hold of you, we can call you, we can notify you. And we can also have people sign up for the emergency reporting systems that we have in town. Any other questions? All set? Anybody else? Thank you very much.
Thank you all.